Law Enforcement Committee meeting to order. Do we have any public comment? Seeing none, I'll close public comment. I think we have a quorum. And
barely.
minutes are in front of you.
Motion to approve.
Second. Motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
We had a handy dandy agenda posted that listed everything we were going to talk about this evening. And I'm going to turn it over to Chief Howe.
It's going to be pretty short. First one's a line item transfer of existing budget. I'd like to take $7,500 out of in-service and move to travel. We got a pretty good sized grant that's reoccurring from the state for our training. So we're utilizing some of that money. So we need a little bit more money in travel to help offset. We're trying to stay in Tennessee if we can. Something else that's affecting that, and I think the sheriff brought this up a couple meetings ago, is we're getting a lot more out-of-state transports, and we're doing our best we can to compare the cost of what it is for a company to go versus a day's drive for us with an overnight stay. Based on some of the new laws, we don't have any choice anymore. We've got to go get them. So that's money within the budget, and I'm asking that you approve that first.
Do we have a
line.
motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor?
Yeah.
The second one on the next page is a budget amendment. This is money from a state grant. When the governor passed the budget, he included in his package that any officer that completed 2023 in service would get an additional $800. We have received the money. It has been deposited with a trustee, and we're going to pay it out on this next payroll. And I would ask that you take this. It's 144 officers. The stipulation was they still had to be employed in a law enforcement certified role with the department at the time we filed for the request of the money. So all but 4 officers were eligible from the ones that was entitled to it in the 23 in service. So
We have a
140.
motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Next is surplus property going down the agenda. And basically, I'm not gonna read you this page, but my IT director and my major over the assets pretty much keeps up with this. So we're requesting to destroy the following items. All the in-car DVR cameras that were taken out of service and replaced with new Axon systems, old mobile data terminals, and old mobile radios and portables. The mobile radios and portables will not do narrowband, and they're not worth the expense of taking the time and trying to deprogram them all, and then in turn trying to sell them to a law enforcement agency because nobody wants them. So we're going to destroy all those if y'all approve this list. And then lastly, for auction, and it is attached in its entirety, the highlight with that will be 36 vehicles that we intend to sell during the surplus auction. 32 of those are old Crown Vics. We're completely removing all the Crown Vics out of our inventory, thanks to y'all for the approval of the money for the new vehicles. And so that will basically leave Explorers and some Tauruses on the road. The other items on here, some audiovisual equipment that's past its useful life and what have you. So we're asking you to approve. And then lastly, on the very, very last page of the list, that was some items we added when they did the last renovation, and we replaced some stuff in the kitchen. So a lot of that is some old jail stuff, bunks, plastic totes, metal locker, top off of the boat, the top center console off the boat, we had to put a new one on, and some stainless steel equipment. So we'd like to auction that. So
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And then the only other thing that the sheriff brought up last meeting a couple of months ago about hospital, we were trying to negotiate a contract. They have since responded back and did not meet our terms. So, matter of fact, they came back and said they were going to increase the cost back to the original amount that we were paying, which was 60%. So we are in the process with looking at a contract with another provider in Wilson County for hospital services. So we're waiting to get a formal contract sent to us, or a letter of agreement is what I think it will be called. So once we get that, and we get it reviewed and talk to the director and the county attorney, we will, and probably the committee, the Sheriff Lane Committee, and we will proceed with that route. But right now, we've got two options on the table. We can either go to Vanderbilt Wilson, or we can go to Summit. So
Aaron, where are our employees now, county employees? They go to Vanderbilt, right?
That is,
Can they go to Summit or Summit's
right now,
ER?
Summit is out of network, sir.
I know, so what do we gotta do
We need to call an insurance committee meeting.
I know who can do that.
And I'm right in
Okay,
line.
I mean, if,
Now, for inmate purposes, it doesn't matter.
okay,
So if the chief and the sheriff negotiated a contract with Summit, that would be separate.
Standalone?
Insurance.
stand alone,
So that would not affect us in that capacity, but, there's probably still some things from the insurance side for us to look at.
and I can tell you that Summit has already offers us a very good rate.
did those other four providers come in with rates?
We were working on a meeting to get a round table with all of them at one time,
Won't
and
be there.
the lady that we originally
Yeah.
talked to is working on that for me. And I told her we needed to get through all this, everything going on in September, and I said, we'll be ready to sit down and talk. But right now, I mean, those costs, I can already tell you that those providers are probably gonna negotiate either a Medicare rate or whatever, because that's what they're getting paid now. So, and we're gonna pay them faster than they are, than Medicare will. So, I feel confident that we're going down the right track. We just need a little bit more time to make sure we cross all the Ts and dot the Is, and make sure that we do what's right for the commission and the citizens of this county. And I'm gonna make sure, the taxpayers, I'm gonna make sure we do that. And I know the sheriff is too, so.
And shame on Vanderbilt.
Where are we at right now if we went on to Summit?
I've got a verbal commitment of a 40% rate.
I think it's pretty poor, and other people may not think that, well, may think that Vanderbilt, it does a lot for our community. I guess having a hospital in your town, that's real good, but we have access to medical care real close. And I think it's pretty poor that the hospital here won't see fit when Medicare reimbursements are 27 to 33%. So to meet us somewhere lower.
And I'm total agreement, I'm the only person in this room that wears two hats, wears several hats, but on the board at Vanderbilt and on the county commission here too, and you can't go against the commission. We've negotiated, we've worked, we've tried, and got nowhere with the budget people in Nashville. So,
I've already changed my insurance at work, so Summit's not out of network anymore.
you got good?
So
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
nothing further. Motion.
Motion
adjourned.
We're adjourned.